Completely different. He's like
Yeah.
a regular
This
hitter
week he came back down to earth where he belongs.
He's no longer superhuman, Superman.
Don't have
Corey,
his Lex Luthor.
Did you really forget that the week was going for 3 extra days?
Yes, he did.
We talked about this for like almost every week leading up to it, that there's going to be extra days of baseball for that.
Okay, here's the thing. You may say of that doesn't mean I paid attention to it.
I really wish that turtle was on frame for the intro.
You know, I just realized that you can actually count. You can count down from 5 from here. I'm surprised you can count that high, 10.
Count that high, he has to use both hands, just count to 10.
Yeah, well, I fell right into that one.
No, he's got to use his toes, too.
Gotta use the toes, guys. Every 2 is 1, and every 5 is 4. All right,
And
guys.
yes, I can when I'm standing straight up.
Week 16 ended last week, and that All-Star Game week with the 3 extra days went a little bit differently than I expected. Cooper, how do you feel about it?
I should have went against you, and that should have been a regular week. That's all I can say.
Well, I mean,
I was
won by
way
25
ahead
points.
of you. No, you wouldn't have. When Sunday rolled around, I was up by 100 points.
God,
I was above you by 100 points.
And I ended 25 points ahead of you, but you played Shade. You did not play me, so it doesn't matter. Corey, how did you feel about last week? Why shut up?
Got me so far off. Because I was like, okay, cool, the week's over. Awesome, I don't have to do this anymore. Why are we still playing?
One thing I'm
Thursday
annoyed.
rolled
The
around,
one
I
thing.
finally looked at my team again. I was like, oh shit, they're still playing. I didn't know.
One thing that's so annoying is that why Bryce Harper was basically playing like a pitcher, right? So how many points he was getting. And this week, it's completely different. He's like a regular
This
hitter.
week he came back down to earth where he belongs.
He's no longer superhuman, Superman.
Don't
Corey,
have his Lex Luthor.
Did you really forget that the week was going for 3 extra days?
Yes, he did.
We talked about this for like almost every week leading up to it, that there's going to be extra days of baseball for that.
Okay, here's the thing. You may say of that doesn't mean I paid attention to it.
Oh, man. So
Yeah, I brought it around.
That makes sense, Corey, because if you
If
look at bonus or bench points from last week, you had 378. Mirror had 421. Everyone else was around 100 to 150, except for Kid.
Yeah, that's because everybody else paid attention. I didn't. I was like, okay.
Obviously.
I was like, cool, I'm up by 100. This is over. This week's over. I'm getting my win. I'm getting back on track. Next thing I know, she's 100 points ahead of me. I'm like, what the hell just happened? We were done. Why am I still on Mirrors?
Yep. Well, I mean, you could have probably done a little bit more damage to that and been able to walk away with it, but it is what it is.
I noticed it late, so it is what it is.
You're at 4 and 12 right now.
I'm just ready for our fantasy football league where I'm going to beat the hell out of all of you.
That's fine. I'm not a fantasy football guy, so you probably would beat me.
Too late. You're doing it. You forced me to do this. You're playing fantasy football.
I'm not even good at fantasy football, so we'll see how this goes. We will see how this goes.
Right? Hey, Coop, you in?
I don't even play. I don't even watch football, my guy.
I don't give a shit. Y'all forcing me to do this. We're doing fantasy football.
Hey, you actually opted into this. You were not forced into fantasy baseball. So don't even try that.
No, I kind of had a gun held to my head, metaphorically.
I want to say that. Go for it. So you're at 4 and 12 now, Corey.
I just did.
You're at 4 and 12 right now, and you had said you were going to go on a run.
Fucking team fell apart. Like nothing new.
Your team is, and this week, right now, it looks like you have a potential to come back if your team can recover the next 2 days. Yeah. And then Coop, your game and my game is gonna be pretty tight this week, leading into Sunday.
It's going to end up coming down to the last little bit.
Yeah.
It's basically going to come down. It's basically going to come down to whether or not that I can take off from Skeen's perfect game.
You mean Cease's perfect game?
Cease's perfect game.
Yeah. I was gonna say Skeens. He went to the 8th. He had his no-hit bid taken away from him, so he didn't exactly to keep that.
Yeah.
I saw that, and then Cease somehow managed to hang on to his, which that was phenomenal. But I don't know. We'll have to see how this goes tomorrow with the last 2 games. How about the hot stove? How about the trading deadline? Anything stand out to you guys that's kind of crazy as we lead into the last 4 days?
No one has made a trade besides the Mariners.
I know. It's crazy.
No one. Mariners are always last.
And they're first this year.
Fuck it. 3 trades, yeah.
DePoto even said today he's not waiting for the okay from ownership to start making his trades. He's doing it now. He said, basically,
you're out.
No, he literally said, management is not getting in the way of my trades this year. That's what he said. He said, I'm not. Like he let management get in the way this year. And he said, I'm not letting him get in the way. And he is literally, he's not bargain binning either. Like he picked up Yimi Garcia, and he also picked up whatever his name is, Rosarena, yeah.
For dirt cheap.
For 2 players.
We picked up 2 good guys for dirt cheap.
I'm waiting for the rest of the league to start making their moves and making their adjustments. The Cubs this year are talking about they don't care about postseason anymore. They don't feel like they're going to be able to get to postseason, so they're looking at buffering if they do any movements for the next season to get ready.
Jerry DePoto said on Seattle Sports on July 24th on the trade deadline, we are going to be doing something that has the potential to be a dynamic, and we will not allow ownership to get in the way. Right now is not the state we need to be in.
I like that. He should do that more because he's the general manager after all. He should be just making those decisions and going after it.
Just go into it instead of asking permission. You're the GM. Make your moves. Go. You're not a 5-year-old child asking permission for a juice box.
He also
let's go.
Well, he also does this every single year. He does the underpay at the beginning of the year for free agency, and then he sees where they're at, and then he tries to fix it. That never works. You gotta fucking knock that shit off. You gotta go for players that you're actually going to be getting. But he doesn't do that.
So they're gonna go get Lubov, or are they gonna go get a Rooker from Oakland?
He's looking at 3.
He's looking at 3, huh?
He's looking at 3. Lubov, Rooker, and Vladdy.
And Guerrero, huh?
Get Alonso.
Alonso's off the market. Mets are keeping him.
He's not there anymore?
No, Mets keeping him.
Well, Vladdy might go to Houston. What I've seen.
Depends on what they decide to do. Unlike the Mariners, they actually are willing to spend a lot of money and do a bunch of trades. But the thing is, it's the trade deadline. You can't just sign him. Like you cannot sign him. He's not a free agent. They don't have anything to offer. The Astros have nothing to offer. Their farm system is terrible. They depleted their farm system last year trying to go for it, and they ended up losing in the LCS.
And they don't have Abreu to working as an asset anymore either.
No, they DFA'd him. They wavered him.
Yeah, they did. Well, like 2 weeks ago, right?
Yeah.
So the Mariners traded Stanek to the Mets. The Orioles traded a trio of prospects to get Zach Eflin from the Tampa Bay Devil Rays.
Yep.
Mariners got Yimi Garcia. The Orioles and the Phillies made a deal. They traded Austin Hayes for Sir Anthony Dominguez and Christian Pache. That's crazy.
But they're not much though.
The Rays are selling. They were talking about it today because they had one of the Rays reporters or something on sports radio this morning. They were talking about like, oh yeah, they're selling everybody. Rosarena, Diaz, Who's the other big one? Their other big shot.
I don't know. I don't pay attention to the Devil Rays.
What?
But
At
did you-
least those two.
On top of it, did you see the acquisition by the Red Sox? They picked up James Paxton
Yeah.
after he's
that's
DFA'd
right.
by
Yeah,
the
they can
Dodgers.
keep that bum.
Paxton sucks.
I know he had
I
a
said they could keep that
4.43
bum.
ERA with 89 innings this year. Like terrible for Paxton. Absolutely terrible. Aren't you glad you didn't keep him on your roster?
Me?
Yeah.
He wasn't on my roster to begin with.
Who picked him up to begin with?
Who? Who is it?
Paxton. Someone picked up
It's
Paxton
not
and they
me.
dropped him. No.
Not me. I knew better than that.
Did you pick him up, Corey?
I knew better than
I
that.
think I think I
Well,
had
I'll
him
look here
for
in a
like.
second.
I might have him. Yeah,
So-
Yandy Diaz.
We know about Arozarena from the Rays, but then also the Diamondbacks acquired AJ Puck from the Marlins, but they traded Dazin De Los Santos and Andrew Pintar. So
Yeah,
the-
but they also
the
got Ryan
Diamondbacks-
Bliss from us for somebody too.
Did they?
Where
Yeah.
did Ryan Bliss got traded?
Yep,
Wasn't
he was
big
the first.
news.
He was the first one gone.
So the Rockies have announced they're not trading McMahon.
It's Rosario and Diaz are on the table still for the Rays.
I guess Crochet wants a
Crochet's on the
extension on
market.
his contract. Yeah.
He's
if
on
he's
the
not,
market.
if he's not, he's going to ask to be traded or go somewhere else
Yeah.
because he doesn't like his contract apparently.
They needed Pittsburgh. Did you see that Skeens thing, that fake Skeens thing, where he wants to trade out of Pittsburgh because they can't give him run support? He's got 2
Oh,
runs
man.
over his last 4 starts or whatever it is.
Oh my
I kind
God.
of hope that's real because it'd be funnier than hell.
I guess the Astros are wanting to take up or pick up Eric Fetty for the White Sox, Jameson Taillon for the Cubs. The Rangers are possibly looking at getting rid of Eovaldi to
Yeah.
shift up their pitching staff, but they also are looking at David Robertson, Kirby Yates, Grossman, and Adolis Garcia. They're looking to trade for them.
Looking for a trade or trading them away?
Looking to trade for them. Because Kirby Yates currently pitches for the Tigers. Oh, did you see that Clayton Kershaw got reactivated this week?
Did he?
Yeah, he got reactivated this week. And he had his first...
Probably
his
terrible.
First game.
It was probably terrible.
I'm trying to pull it up. He was picked up by Rose this week, and I was like, wait, Kershaw's pitching? I thought he was still out. And then I saw it. And
He played terrible. 16
points.
No, it's not even that. He allowed 2 runs over 4 innings and he got pulled.
Mhm. 6 hits, 2 runs, 2 walks, 6 Ks. And he had no decision on that. He had an ERA of 4.5. Sorry, his first pitching appearance this year. Like, terrible. Not going to be a great pickup for anybody right now, in my opinion, to have Kershaw on your bench.
I would not even bother with him.
Nah,
Fuck it.
it's not worth it.
Thank God.
Well, he gets injured too fast. He's not reliable.
Well,
I
the
think he's going to retire
Dodgers
soon.
were looking at a Rosarania too before we took him.
Yep, beat him to it.
Good.
I like how you
Yeah.
dropped Stanek and you picked up Gilbert Garcia. right away you picked him up.
Oh no, I haven't had Stanek in, and then I looked at his stats, and he has dropped Jet. He's done for the past three or four starts, so or 3 or 4 outings. So I immediately dropped him. Yeah, -4, -9, and 0. Yeah, I dropped
Bye.
him. Yeah.
Bye. So with how the season's going so far, do you guys want to talk who might be in playoffs for us, fantasy, or do you want to just leave that for the next couple of weeks?
You're not getting into the playoffs.
You still think
100%.
No, you're gonna fucking.
I'm 14-2 right now? You don't think I'm going to get the playoffs?
cheat
No,
your way in.
I'm gonna
Fucking
take
hell.
no. So you need. So I'm gonna request to be the commissioner. You
That's
just lost.
even
I
bad.
take away 2
I'm
games.
gonna do it.
I'm taking away 2 games from you.
Is this going back to the Commissar
I'm-
Robbie comment?
Whatever, Commissar Abby.
Like, why?
Let
Why?
the clueless guy be commissioner, because when you
No, we don't
I
want
know
the
what you're
clues got to be
bitching
commissioner. He might mess stuff up. He doesn't know what he's doing.
Yeah, exactly.
All
So
right.
then when you guys complain about things, I won't know what you're complaining about. And you'll get over it.
Well,
I didn't realize that Victor Robles is doing that good.
Yeah, he's on fire.
Robles?
Yeah, the guy that they got for the Washington Nationals from waivers.
Yeah,
They
he's
claimed
been on
him
fire
on
for the past
waivers.
2 weeks.
He's batting 364 this year.
Yeah, since July. Yeah, since like the
Since
first
he
part of
came
July.
over to the Mariners.
Yeah.
288 all year. He's at 80 at bats.
I'm not even
That's a
looking
good
at
that if he's at 80 ABs, you know he's gonna perform pretty consistent.
Yeah.
Now I'm looking at baseball.
So he's not been playing very long, but he's been in so far. He's doing a great job.
Maybe
I don't
there's
know.
people on the bench that they've had they've never put in, and they just probably should have put it in the beginning.
I mean, that's a smart decision. That's a very smart decision, because if you're just sitting someone out for the entirety of the season and they're waiting to play, they're going to want to prove themselves, and they're going to do things to show that they can play the game. So
Yeah.
I mean, right now, when we look at standings for the entire league in general, Orioles are still on top, just barely ahead of the Yankees. The Guardians are 5 games ahead of the Twins. The Astros and the Mariners are
They're
pretty
tied.
much neck and neck. There's
We
one
tied.
game behind on the Mariners right now.
Oh, it's one game now.
One game behind. The Phillies
Wait,
are
we
9
got
games ahead of the
first back?
Mets.
No.
Tied.
54. Yeah, like 52 and 52 apiece, I think.
It's
54, 51.
Yeah, 54, 51, 54, 49. It's because the Astros haven't played as many games. They've had 2 less games than the Mariners.
54
I don't know
and
how it's even
51,
possible
they're
at this point.
54 and 49.
They had to have had a couple games that were postponed or something. Like Atlanta's been having a lot of delayed
Yes.
games. So did Philadelphia. So did New York. So they had to have playing in one of those cities at that time period that would throw them off.
Make it up the end of the year, probably is what they were thinking.
Yep. The Dodgers are 7 games ahead of the Padres. The Padres are in second place now. They were in 4th earlier this year. Now they're on top. The Giants started falling apart. The Diamondbacks are kind of hanging on 3rd place. The Cubs have fallen all the way to the last place in Central. We're losing a lot of ground.
What if the Dodgers? I wonder if the Dodgers are going to end up shitting the bed.
Do you think so?
I hope so.
Yeah, it's looking
I mean, they're
like it.
62 and 43.
Ready for this?
They've won. They lost 1 game. They've won 6 of their last 10. They're not doing great.
So here's the funny thing. So the bottom teams in each one, 14 games behind. 12 and a half. 11, then there's Miami, that's 26 and a half, and then there's Chicago. That's 37.
Yeah, they're
White Sox.
50. They're
7
bad this
games
year.
back
They have lost.
of first.
They have lost 12 games in a row.
I wonder what these owners are thinking when they make the decisions that they make.
It's a good question.
You know what I mean?
I'm
Yeah.
not
like,
smart enough
the-
for that one.
The White Sox, like Chicago was a good team not even 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Like,
They just fell apart.
2021, like 2021, they were a good team. They didn't make the playoffs, but they were still a good team.
Yeah.
And then they just, I think it's I don't know if it's just the fact that they're just not playing like they're supposed to, or if ownership doesn't care.
And if they're gonna shift their top 3 fucking pitchers, because
So
Crochet's looking to go, they're looking to get rid of Thorpe too. So
Last season, the White Sox were 61 and 101. 61 and 101. 2022, they were 63 and 65, or 81 and 81. They changed managers through the year. And then 2021, they were 93 and 69.
They changed
And-
managers, the problem.
Yeah.
yeah,
And then in 2019, they were 72 and 89. It was the manager change that threw them off completely. Like that is right there the leading factor. And I think they have a new manager on top of it. Like they went away from the manager that they had, got a new one, and then they got rid of that one and brought in another one because the names are not the same. The current White Sox manager, Pedro Briffle. Last year it was Pedro Briffle. and then it was in 2022 it was Tony La Russa and Miguel Cairo. So they've changed managers like crazy. And then in 2020 it was Rick Renteria. In 2019 it was Rick Renteria. And then in 2018 they were 62 and 100. It's interesting to watch like just how they've shifted and adjusted, and they're not doing well. The Rockies haven't been doing well either. The Rockies are doing pretty bad right now.
Yeah.
So I want to show you something.
Go for it.
Oh, here we go. Okay. This was brought up today by today. I forget. I think I watched a podcast or something. I want you to look at this. Look at this picture. Look at this picture.
That's a 3D rendering of the Mariners.
No. This is overhead. This is straight over the top of the Mariners Stadium. It's on in Google Maps. So the batter's eye is right here.
Yeah.
So the batter's eye. Okay, or it'll be stupid. Is right here, right? So the batter's eye is kind of slanted, so it's actually like this. So if they're staring at it, it's slanted like this.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Every other stadium, they talked about batter's eye having fucking with pitchers. Here's Oakland Coliseum. There's the batter's eye right there. Every single stadium has it dead on. The Mariners ballpark is the only stadium that has at an angle. That
Why?
When they're looking at it, I don't know what they were thinking when they built it. I don't know if it was the train tracks. I don't know if it was because of that. Every single stadium, Yankee Stadium, all the new ones that have been built recently, every single one of them have the batter's eye dead center straight on. It actually, I think, because Teoscar. Oh no, I saw it with Teoscar Hernandez. He posted on here like that he realizes that every pitch, because he reposted something about one of the other hitters in the Mariners actually like complaining about not being able to hit properly, right? Because of the batter's eye. And he said he was not the only one. I guess 80% of the pitchers ranging from 2001 when the stadium opened to now, everybody's complaining about the batter's eye because it's at that angle.
I mean, but like
New York, it's literally straight on, right? And it's not because it's like the stadium is angled, like here's home plate and like the batter's eye is here at like a little bit deeper. It's the fact that it's at an angle. It's like an entire wall is set up all messed up. You're looking them all up, aren't you?
No,
yeah, Citgo Field batter's eye is on the
I'm
left. I think
looking at training. Yeah.
I think it's because, like, if I remember right, when you're sitting in that stadium, the sun comes through that spot. It doesn't come through the other part. It's
the glare of that, along with the odd angle that it's sitting at, messes with pitcher's capability to gauge to gauge the contact of the ball.
It makes it hard for the pitchers to gauge contact?
No, it makes it harder for the hitters to gauge where contact's going.
Yeah, it is at a weird angle.
Every single hitter has complained since the ballpark has opened. They're talking about moving it this year at the end of the season.
Okay.
And flattening it. Like they're just gonna angle it a little bit.
Again,
all it would do would reduce the amount of the cement concourse at Eggers Cantina. That's the only thing that it would do. They would just angle it a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And it would take away like 10 feet on each of the bullpens, which is nothing.
No.
Like 10 feet is 10 feet or 15 feet is nothing. So
that's an interesting thing, because when you think about nowadays, whenever they want every stadium to be almost similar for like background, but every stadium has different fence lines or different depths.
Yeah,
that's why each stadium is designed that way. But if like one has an inconsistency, I'm not gonna give an excuse why the Mariners would be sucking for strikeout rating right now in comparison to everyone else. But do they strike out more at home, or do they strike out more away?
I'm not talking about striking out with this. That's not what I'm talking about.
Okay.
So, Teoscar Hernandez had the most strikeouts he's ever had as a hitter and the slowest start he's ever had as a hitter when he played in T-Mobile.
Really?
Yes. He started out with a 42% strikeout rating for the first 2 months. Through April, through end of March, April and into May until June, when the weather started getting nice, and then he finally started going up. Yeah, it's pretty bad. So maybe the batter's eye is fucking with the pitchers or fucking with the hitters.
Maybe, I don't know. That's an interesting point.
But the thing is though is that you shouldn't be striking out.
No.
You shouldn't be hitting it as far. But they're also saying that they should just keep the roof closed.
I mean, that thing you put in chat the other day that absolutely made me laugh. What was it? It was the strikeouts. So when you look at just what you sent us in chat the other day, the Mariners have 1,066 strikeouts, 74 more than any team in the league. And the team with the least is the Kansas City Royals. Right behind them is the Padres and the Astros.
You want to know why Kansas City Royals have the least amount of strikeouts?
Why?
Because it's located in the Midwest, and if there's any contact made with it, it goes out of the damn ballpark.
True.
Foul or not, it's gone.
Well, I mean, they also are better hitters. They have a better batting average in general compared to the Mariners. They have.
Oh my God! A high school team has a better average than the frickin' Mariners.
Yeah, they have
Get
a
outta
216 right now, which if I filter this, they have the lowest batting average. They're under the White Sox.
They have the lowest batting average, but the lowest ERA.
Yeah, I know. If they could score runs, they can continue to win, but you can't just rely on the pitchers every day for a victory. It just doesn't work that way. It would if you could, score runs. But yeah, that's just. I mean, the team with the most strikeouts from a pitcher. Where are the Mariners? The Mariners are 12th for number of strikeouts dealt by pitchers this year. The Phillies have the most. The most home runs given up by pitchers is Toronto Blue Jays, 138, and the fewest is the Braves. The best ERA in the game is Mariners, 3.41. Phillies right behind them. The worst ERA is the Rockies at a 5.5. At a 5.5, ooh, I did not realize it was that high. That's bad.
Yeah, it's very bad.
How do you guys think? So week 16 is over. I know I beat Rose. Corey, you lost to Marith. You had your easy week against Shane Coop, and then Ethan beat the kid, so Ethan's still in first place. Week 17. We already said we know who the predictions are for that, but then now next week is going to be an interesting one. I want to talk about next week. It's me and the kid. It's Shane versus Corey.
I'm going to take over the kids just for this week.
You versus Marith, Coop, and then it's Rose versus Ethan. So you're gonna hop in and manage the kids roster for next week.
I'm gonna double check, see what's all there, and
who's winning next week? Who do you got? Who are your bets?
He has an idea. Okay, everybody. Okay, Corey, you want to come up to the front of the class?
No.
Yeah, Corey. Come on up to the front of the class. Now share with the class.
Damn it. No, that's my stupid back, damn it.
What was your book report on this week?
That. It was on how you guys are jackasses. That's how it was on.
All right, Corey. Who are your predictions for next week?
Me.
Okay.
Me and more me.
You're gonna lose.
There's only one game you have, and if you want Shane next week. So who's gonna win, me or the kid?
The kid. You now.
Who's gonna win next week? Marith or Cooper?
Marith.
Oh, okay.
No.
Who's gonna
Don't
win
you
next
put
week? Rose
that
or
down.
I did. I put it down.
Those down. No.
I sure did.
I got the kid beat you, but I got Marith, or him beat Marith. I need him to beat Marith. I'm behind her.
Okay. So then, who's winning, Rose or Ethan?
Who's on which side again?
Ethan is on yours. Rose is on ours.
Rose.
Okay.
Because if I win this week, it's the upset of the year so far.
True.
other than me beating him on a fluke, it's the upset of the year.
Cooper, who do you got? Who do you got this week?
Whoever wins. That's all I got.
You're not playing, you're not gonna. No,
Not this week. Not this week. No, not this week.
I think that's the first time you've done that. I
Yeah,
think that's
not this week. There are too many variables this week. Or yeah, too many
Next week.
variables this week.
Okay. So if that's how you guys feel about that. Like, we have 7 weeks left of baseball. This one's almost over. Then we have 6.
Go into football, baby.
And then we're gonna transition.
Yeah,
to
we're
football.
gonna. So
Wait. Are we gonna do a podcast?
Who's
on
gonna
football?
draft? Who's gonna draft Messi for our football?
You're a dick. Alright, Tim, I lied.
Yeah, we're gonna do a soccer fantasy league. Let's do it.
No, it's football.
Messi plays soccer.
That's football.
It's
Use
football.
use your foot for
Ball.
for the ball.
Ball.
God, freaking channel your inner Mexican for a minute.
Oh, that's so bad. That's so bad.
But it's
Okay.
so right.
Because you're bad. It's so bad. So that'll do for episode 16 recap as we get ready to finish up episode 17. We'll come back next week to see who takes the victories coming into the weekend, and then who's going to be rolling into first place, and who's going to be solidifying their spot for playoffs.
I have a 99% chance of making the playoffs this year.
Catch you guys
I
next
think
Monday.
mine's like 4. If
One.
that.
1%.